I mean, first of all, the fact that they got James Gardner really upsets me. The fact that we let him go to Everton really upsets me right now. I'm not going to lie. He's someone who's levels above Scott McTominay.
This is Match Week. You are joined by myself, Ardi Emini. We discuss everything soccer from the highs and the lows in the sporting week to the news that is relevant to you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome back. You are listening top of the hour on WMSC Upper Montclair. And this is Match Week. Guys, for this week, I have a couple of special guests. Of course, as returning per usual, we have Steven. Steven, say what's up.
Hello, what's up, guys?
And on a Discord call with us currently, we have the one, the only. The only name I've known him for the past year and a half I've known him. It is Nighthawk. Nighthawk, you're live from Discord. Say what's up.
Yo, what's up, guys?
So, just so you guys know, Nighthawk is a Aston Villa fan, just to put it to the least. But he's also calling in from England. And this is where we're going to be having sort of a show about explaining the difference between English and American fans, but also going into detail about Aston Villa's little revitalization and just going in through there. So, Steven, what are we thinking right now?
I think it's great. I mean, an Aston Villa fan, that's different, huh?
It is a bit different there, without a shadow of a doubt. But anyways, Nighthawk, do you mind introducing yourself?
Well, I've been a football fan all my life, and I'm now 26 in December. So grew up just down the road from the Villa ground. So it was a local team where I grew up. So my dad's a Villa fan, my brother's a Villa fan. So
yeah, that is great, Nighthawk. We really do appreciate getting a different opinion here on the show. So being able to have you on and get a different perspective is sort of what's big for the fans. But before we go into more detail with you, we have a big announcement here on WMSC 90.3 FM. For all of your World Cup content, you can tune in to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair if you like to. No call to actions here live on air. No call to actions whatsoever. But this is the action that we are currently going through. We will be doing a whole bunch of broadcasts, maybe a daily show, still working on that one, but we'll have a lot of live content coming straight to you. Now, Nighthawk, I have a question for you. So, coming in from the UK, what is your opinion on Americans covering the sport that it's obviously more than just a sport to you, it's a way of life, it's culture. What is your opinion about that?
I think it's great that, sports from different countries and, different people's cultures can reach the world. I think it's great that there's different followings everywhere. Like, you look at China, for example, they have a big Man United following over there. So just as another example. And then in America, I've got a few friends who support teams, but it's nice to see that our football, which we see as the best league in the world, can be followed all around the world, because we have some great players in our league. And even though often it's the top 4 teams are always the same, take this season, for example, we've got Newcastle third. Newcastle have been nowhere for the past few seasons. So, again, it's just great to see fans all over the world enjoying the sport.
Sorry about that. We're having some technical difficulties here in studio. We don't have our main computer running. We're trying to run off a couple of connectors here. But no, you actually do have a valid point here, Nighthawk. I mean, before we continue with the interview, I need to know your actual name before we continue so I can properly credit you. Just so the audience can know. Can you hear us? Hello. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. I just realized I was muted. Nighthawk, my apologies. Do you mind just giving us your name for the audience? Because I can't keep calling you Nighthawk when I've known you for about a year and a half now.
Yeah, just call me Jake. That's fine.
Jake. All right. We have another Jake here. That's awesome. We have 5 Jakes here at the studio.
Wow.
No, all jokes aside. But no, you do raise a valid point, because the sport is global. It's not just in English culture. It is somewhere where there's a big influence in China. There's a big influence even with the likes of Qatar hosting the World Cup this year. We have a it's a wide and broad spectrum of where this goes and how much it can really take on in regards to a fandom.
Definitely. And football's huge throughout Europe. There's so many big leagues. Some countries obviously have it bigger than others, but there's huge teams throughout Europe. Some of the teams in America look like they're doing good. A lot of English managers actually go over there. I think Wayne Rooney's just signed for, which team was it actually? I can't remember.
DC United, he's the manager for.
Yeah, that's it. And then you got David Beckham owning, is it Inter Miami?
Yes, Inter Miami.
Yes. Yeah, and then a lot of the footballers near the end of their careers will go over to the American League, which then gives them, exposure over there.
I mean, we just had the MLS Cup final. I know it's a little awkward for you to hear that, but I mean, big man came up, Gareth Bale, in a final, scoring a last-minute header, as per usual, to send LAFC into penalties against the Philadelphia Union and winning in the end of that, which is a big result for them. What has been your opinion on sort of the likes of like Welsh or English players coming in? I would say towards the end of the career, because some are going like halfway through, some are going towards the end, because obviously one of the biggest English talents to come into the MLS was Bradley Wright Phillips. So like, what was your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are, first off, if we just look at the leagues, our leagues, we have 4 different tiers of English football that are classed as professional, because we have a relegation. Because we have a relegation system. So for the Premier League, the bottom 3 clubs at the end of the season go down, and then for the Championship, with the Championship, the top team goes up, and the rest of the teams play in the playoffs to get the next 2 up, which I think is a really cool system. But I believe you guys don't have a relegation system.
No, so that's the thing we've sort of been arguing with for a bit here. It's to sort of find a way to make sure that we get a promotion relegation system here. I mean, it's been proposed, but obviously U.S. sports work differently. We are more so on the side of getting franchises and having everyone stay in a league, and there's drafts, and so obviously there's not much of a culture shift in regard to that, where there's not that much you can sell, but it's something that I think they're slowly working towards, but it's something that is crucially needed here in the MLS, because even in your 5th division Peruvian league, right, you still have promotion relegation. So I think there has to be an established development here where we can just improve upon.
I definitely agree. Okay, sorry. Hi, Jake. What's up, Steven? But the thing is, so these MLS teams, they're franchises. They're like the football teams, like the NFL. So basically, it's like they have a lot of money, a lot of wealthy business owners. They own these clubs, and they want to prevent the idea of a relegation system. So to conserve their money inside these clubs, they don't want their club they don't want a relegation system. They don't want their club to go down.
Yeah, they don't want their club to devalue. But I also think on the flip side, it would create a more competitive league, because then you've got the worry of, if we play bad this season, we could go down. It would make the league more competitive. For me, I'm used to it. Like a couple of seasons ago, Aston Villa, we were down. We got relegated. We had a really poor season. We went down. We were down in the Championship for a few seasons. Then we came back up, and then there's a huge money boost when you go back up, because you get a huge influx of cash for getting promoted, and then just staying up in the Premier League just keeps so much money coming in. But like with your culture, like I know I don't think any of your sports have a relegation system to my knowledge. I think the NBA are the latest to be discussing it. But there's difficulties with that though, because some of the players in the league below, the G League, don't they also play in the NBA?
Yeah.
So they're playing for like 2 teams, which again, it's confusing, but I would love to see the MLS get a relegation system. I'd love to see it.
Well, that's the thing, right? I think the issue with the current system of American soccer is that the USL, which is the 2nd division of American sports, you have a lot of Red Bulls 2, Philadelphia Union 2, so a lot of the second teams, where in England they would have their own individual league, like Man United reserves versus Aston Villa reserves in that regard. Yeah. They have their own little league going. So
we also do have a Premier League too, which is the under 21 teams, if I remember correctly, as well.
Yeah.
And we have the Women's Super League, which is basically run the same with relegation and promotion, but it's for the women's teams. And women's football over here is getting it's skyrocketing in views, because we're promoting it a lot. We put it on the free TV channels, and it's great to see the women's sport growing alongside it, because the women's sport deserves just as much exposure as the men's sport.
Oh yeah, no, we've been having big debates here over in the U.S. about that when it comes to especially the U.S. women's national team. Without a doubt, that's a big controversial topic there.
Yeah. For me though, they raise good points. Like, they should get paid more. But the only way they can get paid more is if they bring more money into the sport. But the only way to bring more money into the sport is more exposure.
Yeah.
which again is hard to do because it's a male-dominated sport,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
but I think to their point though, it was that they were pulling numbers because of how well they were doing on a per game basis, because we had a huge debate about this actually off air. So when it came to the U.S. women's national team contract, instead of getting a per game basis contract, which would have made them more money because obviously they're making it into the final for all the Olympics, they're making it to the final for all the women's World Cups. So if they had actually taken the per game basis contract that was given to them from the get go, they would have actually been making way more money. But to their point, I can understand where the fear could have been because of not knowing of where the money can come from, because obviously with gender pay gap and stuff like that, it's uncertainty of what money you can get. So they took a more of a guaranteed money contract, which can make sense. But just to your point with exposure, I think when it comes to everywhere else but the U.S. with football, the exposure is always prevalent and there, because even the Women's Premier League, right? I'm watching it week in and week out. I'm supporting the Man United women's team, all right? Jackie Gronin is my midfielder, all right? Absolute baller. Like, she's from the Netherlands. She's absolutely insane. Plus, with the Women's Premier League signing a lot of American players, taking a lot of that talent out of the WSL. So I think it just goes to show that, again, back to Jake over here, that the rest of the world sort of treats the sport better than what America currently is treating it, which I think is a valid point to make. Yes, no, maybe so.
Over here we can watch some of the NFL games on Sky Sports, which they watch most of the sport. You got the F1 on it, you got the football, the golf, and I think it's cool that some of the teams actually come over and play in Wembley, because that's given your sport exposure over here. It'd be nice to see more American channels play more of the Premier League, because that gives them more exposure over there, because I don't think many do, to my knowledge.
So here's the crazy thing. So really, for the Premier League, it's only NBC Sports, and then if it's on NBC Sports, it's on USA Network, and then if it's on there, it's on a paid subscription service called Peacock.
Or Telemundo.
Yeah. Telemundo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Steven. You correct me. I apologize.
They're like a branch of like NBC. So
yeah, technically. So but here's the thing though. My question is though, Jake, I'm trying to, work your real name because you deserve to call by your real name. My question is that because the football is not really on the telly a lot of the times, right? It's like, it's only on if it's a sold out game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
No, not over here. So there's deals between the two major sports channels. We have BT Sport and we have Sky Sports.
Yep.
They usually split them 50-50. I think BT recently got a new deal to get the early match on the Sunday, which was never on TV before. So now we get a 12:30 game. So for you guys, if you're on the East Coast, that'd be 7:30 a.m.
Yeah, we're up for those. Just so you know, we are up for those 7:30 a.m. kickoffs.
Yeah, so like take it for example, like today we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches in the EFL Cup, which is just another tournament, and only one of them is on TV, and that's on Sky Sports, which is a paid one, and that's the Man City Chelsea game, which is obviously the biggest match today.
And then that game is sold out though, right? Because I think from what has been explained to me before is that a lot of games only have bigger chances of being on the telly if, like, for example, like if it's Manchester City versus Man United and either the Etihad Stadium or Old Trafford is sold out, where fans can't physically go to watch it. I think that's where they'll promote to put it on like a Monday Night Football or something like that for you guys.
From my knowledge, from what I have seen, so the bigger teams the teams try and do it where it's an equal split between the teams getting matches. So if we look at this weekend, for example, Aston Villa are playing again on Sunday, we're playing tomorrow, but playing Sunday, and it's Brighton Aston Villa, so that'd be classed as a small game, but it's actually on TV because they try and give each team's fans a chance to watch their team on TV, and I think that's really good. But like, also, we're on TV tomorrow as well, but we can go where we have 2 or 3 weeks where the Villa games aren't on TV, and it's unfortunate, but they do try and split it so that the channels do get all exposure for all the teams, which is good, but it's not always if it's a sold out match, because you can see it live and there'll be empty seats everywhere, but it's just that they've paid for that particular match. They have to they pay for the rights to stream X amount of games, and then they either pick or they get given some, and then they pick some. I think that's how it works, but it usually is just random. But most of the time, the big team games will be on the television. So it's luck of the draw. Really.
So here's the thing, right? So I know that like a lot of teams, like Man United has MUTV. Chelsea has their own fan TV service. So my curiosity is that with Aston Villa, I'm not sure if this is available service or not, but because I was say because if you guys have it, so if you can't find it on TV or on Sky Sports or on BT Sports, do they like stream the game themselves on their own personal services for you guys?
Not all of them, but usually the home games will be on. So like on Aston Villa, it's UTV. I think Crystal Palace have their own one as well.
Mm-hmm.
But not always. But so sometimes it'll be on. If it's not on the teams thing, it'll be on like sometimes the Asian countries have it. Sometimes you guys will have it on like Peacock or something, and or ESPN. I've seen some on ESPN every now and then. But usually, sometimes they're just not broadcast. Like if it's an away match and that home team doesn't really have its own like streaming service, then you don't always get to watch the match, and then you have to go and stream it online without like trying to sound dodgy, you know.
So VPN is where they come in clutch, you know what I'm saying?
VPN's coming very useful. Yes, me and my brother, if it's not on TV, we'll find somewhere streaming it and we'll pop a VPN on and we'll watch it. Well, that's how much we love it.
Well, my thing is that like the Premier League has a deal with Amazon Prime, right?
Yes, around Christmas time, there's like a 1 or 2 week period where they'll have all the Premier League matches on Amazon Prime and you can watch it. I don't know if it's available outside of the UK, but
that's like I said, my friend. That's where a VPN is absolutely clutch. Because my thing is that like, so besides like Robbie Lowe and Rebecca, what's her name, Rebecca? Oh, I feel so disrespectful right now. I think it's Robbie Mustoe and Rebecca Lowe on NBC Sports. Yeah. Besides those few, and then some of the people they get for the Champions League with Fox Sports or CBS.
Yeah, I think it's both. I mean, I don't know.
No, it's CBS. So with them, they'll get like Thierry Henry, they'll get Jamie Carragher, they'll get Micah Richards, and some of them where
Robbie Keane sometimes.
Robbie Keane, yeah. So here's the thing, like, so I like some of them. But at the end of the day, it's just frustrating to hear most of the commentary coming from the American side of punditry. Because it's like, look, we get it, Alberto Moreno, like, you played in the MLS for 2 years, but that doesn't give you the right to give an in-depth analysis about, like, how Gerard Piqué decided to retire this week. Like, that's the stuff that frustrates me a bit at times, you know?
I will agree with you on that, because sometimes when using the VPN, for example, we'll get like the American broadcast, and it's like they'll be commentating and they'll hype plays up that don't need to be hyped up. They'll use words that are different. They'll analyze plays that didn't need to be analyzed and miss plays that needed to be analyzed. It's like, look, I know you're trying to do your best for your audience and try to make it more for your audience, but you'd be better off paying that little bit extra to try and get some of the older British pundits for the Premier League.
That's
years.
Well, that's why they did a great job with sometimes getting John Champion, who I love. Yeah, like he's a commentator who I'll thoroughly enjoy. But I don't know about you, Jake, but most of the times when I'm watching a Prem game, I'll mute it and then I'll put on some True Geordie on the side and listen to the kickoff. That's just sort of like what I do a lot of times.
I love the British commentary because the British commentary, yes, most of the time they'll favour the bigger club, which is frustrating. But like take the last game when Aston Villa beat Man United 3-1. It looked like for most of the game they were just saying how Man United were playing bad rather than commenting on how Aston Villa were outplaying them, which was the frustrating thing. And they don't mean to do it, but it's just, you know, if anything, you're always gonna back the bigger team, and it feels disrespectful. But what's that one goalkeeper, Tim Howard? He's been when I've seen American ones, he's been a really good pundit because he played in the Premier League.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like him, he's
a really good pundit. Like even though he's American and you know he's an outsider per se, not to be disrespectful to him because he's a great.
Oh yeah, of course.
But it's like great seeing an outsider that has that much knowledge because he's been in the Premier League, and I don't feel like he gets as much time actually analysing the Premier League games, and it's upsetting because he does a really good job for someone who's not like used to commentating on the Premier League the whole time. But I love seeing the American way of doing it because it's a different perspective, and it intrigues me, but it frustrates me.
Yeah, I hear you. So the thing is for me is that Tim Howard actually, while he was still goalkeeping for Everton, he was also doing play-by-play commentary on the side for NBC Sports, which was really cool. And he recently just did a podcast with Ben Foster, which, by the way, no call to action. If you want up the Fozcast, you're more than welcome to on your own accord. I'm not telling you to do anything. But that interview was absolutely spectacular with him, and because he's brought on Tim Howard, he's had on Aaron Ramsdale, Kasper Schmeichel, he's even had on Jared Bowen. Like, the Fozcast is something I thoroughly enjoy listening to. I mean, sadly, it's a Spotify exclusive now, so I have to deal with ads again, which, unfortunate, but, it is what it is. We take it on the chin. But my question is for you, Jake, is that what is your opinion on someone like a Ben Foster and more players harping on more of the social media side than there has been in the past? Because obviously, don't get me wrong, I love Roy Keane. Roy Keane's a legend of Manchester United. But there's times where he just needs to shut up about, the random, social media stuff,
Yeah. Well, so, this is going to sound insulting, but for me, the older players, so like Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher, the older players who are from a different generation, they don't quite get it as much. But then you got Ben Foster doing shit with Sidemen, doing stuff with Chris MD, doing how many goals can we score against the Premier League goalkeeper? And he gets involved in it, he makes a laugh, and it's because a lot of people watch the Sidemen around the world.
Yeah.
And it's given them another exposure to the fun side of the sport, because they see the Premier League probably as just serious, you play the match, you play the win, it's all just, you put everything out there. But then the scene of the personalities, and some people fall in love with the sport through the personalities in it. Like snooker, for example. I watch snooker here and there. I only watch the World Championship. But,
wait, Jake, real quick. Can you explain what snooker is for our American audience? Because I'm besides me and maybe Steven, no one else knows what you're talking about.
Okay, so snooker is it's similar to pool, but it's played on a table that's double the size, and it's a point-based game. So you got 15 reds, each worth 1 point. If you pot a red, you then pot one of the colors, which is yellow, which is 2 points, green's 3, brown's 4, blue is 5, pink is 6, black is 7. And basically you have to pot all the reds, which don't come back on the table. So you do red color, but the colors, they come back on the table. And I think the maximum break is 147. It's a very strategic game. It's a lot more strategic than pool, and the matches go on a lot longer. But Ronnie O'Sullivan is the most decorated player. He's such a good personality, and it got to the point where he only plays in a tournament if he needs the money, because he's that good. And but it's like I say, it's not a British sport that I feel like could do with more exposure. But again, you look at sports like that, and it's they're all the greats are getting old, and all the youngsters are coming in. And it's like football. Look at Aston Villa. Look at the youth program we got going on. We're bringing in so many young players at the moment, and these players have all been exposed to social media, so they're going to be promoting more on social media, which is going to bring a new audience in around the world. So social media is important, but you have to get the right personalities to do it.
I mean, for example,
I know that's a big tangent. I know it's a big tangent with the snooker, but I got to where I was getting to.
No, I know, of course. But here's the thing: it's sort of necessary, because we can't have a British fellow on and then not let them explain the certain things that are only known to British people. So it's sort of we have to give context for everything here. Context is key. You know what I'm saying? Without a doubt.
Yeah, because you guys don't know about snooker, but there's not much on social media about snooker. Yeah, some of the snooker players come over and play in pool, like Judd Trump. He comes and plays in the pool tournaments, and I think he won one pretty comfortably. He played really well, but again, it's our culture seems to be reaching out around the world, but you don't get many pool players coming to play snooker, because it's a completely different game.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
It's a completely different mindset. It's like most American football players won't come over and play football, or most MLS stars don't really come into the Premier League, but a lot of people from the Premier League.
I mean,
go over to the MLS.
I'm about to say, don't you dare disrespect Miggy Almiron, okay? Man was a baller. Because he had to deal with Steve Bruce as his manager for 3 seasons. Yeah. Didn't get to really perform, and now under Eddie Howe, he's a new animal, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a prime example of MLS coming to the Premier League. Let's get a bit of a break there.
Yeah, I was just saying, not many come over.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. No, I 100% I agree.
It's gonna sound insulting, but the only way I can say it is because the quality of the Premier League, the French League, the German League, they're all so much bigger than the MLS.
Oh no, of course. I don't think it's an insult at all. It's just a fact. No, without a doubt.
But it's because soccer's not as big over there. American football, if there was American Football World Cup, for example, where people say British teams or whatever played in it, I don't know if there is or not because I don't follow it. But if there was, the American team would probably dominate because it's an American sport. It's crazy how different countries have their own sports, and and some of them branch out. Like football was created here, rugby was created here. Another great British sport. I love it.
Yeah, rugby is a great one as well. I agree with you.
Rugby's great. No body armor. Just men being men.
Yeah. But the thing is that because these cultures and these countries have had it vested in for so long that the U.S. sort of behind the power curve, where sort of we're waiting for the nerf to come for all the other teams and the U.S. to catch up, so that way we're on a even playing field. Yeah. But it's gonna take a bit. It's gonna take a bit, because even right now we have Americans like Weston McKennie in the City A. We have Pulisic playing for Chelsea, who doesn't get enough. Who personally I don't think gets enough starts under Graham Potter.
He doesn't. I've got him in my ultimate team playing as a left wing back just to have that extra attacking threat. I know he's a great player.
No.
He's a great player.
Yeah, he's great. But then there's also Anthony Robinson at Fulham, right? There's also
Gio Reyna.
Gio Reyna at Dortmund. We've also had the likes of DeAndre Yedlin, who was in the Premier League for years and years. He's someone who's a consistent baller.
You also had wasn't there an American Dembele as well? Was it Dembele?
Dembele. I think I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Let me check.
But I will say though that there was Josh Sargent playing for Norwich, but sadly Norwich was just garbanzo, so there wasn't really that much help there. But my thing is, we're gonna go to Villa now because you've been talking about your villains. Yeah. You love your villains. And
I've got
you're really just like pulling at my heartstrings talking about how you just dominated us on the weekend. And just give you context right now. You can't see me, but in studio I'm wearing my United kit. Yeah. I finally got my first long sleeve kit. I've been trying to collect one for a while now. Finally got one for a steal. But the Aston Villa versus United game over the weekend, I think was spectacular performance by Unai Emery.
Definitely.
Because
it was. First match in, he had so much going. Under Gerrard at the end, when we lost that one coach, we were flat. We had no ideas. We were just playing through the same stuff regardless if it wasn't working. Unai Emery comes in attack. We're going into a 4-2-4 formation, just full on sending everyone up and then rushing back into a 4-4-2 in defense. We were dynamic. We pocketed out your key players. Granted, you had some injuries. You had Fernandes suspended, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah. He's a great player. I'd love to watch him play. Even though he missed that penalty, the first penalty miss he had in the Premier League was against us. Yeah. And then he got that free kick in the next match to get revenge, which was, sad.
Yeah, pulling at the heartstrings.
You played as good as you could, and we just had the perfect counter to you. Oh, yeah. And granted, I don't think we're going to play the same tomorrow. If we play the same tomorrow, it's stupid because you're going to expect us to do that. But I also think on the flip side, you could expect us to mix it up. Now, I think most of your players are going to be. I know Fernandes is definitely going to be back.
Yeah,
I know that much.
But the thing is, I think with Aston Villa, with Unai Emery, is that as Jake pointed out, Aston Villa with Gerrard had a whole coaching staff around him where he was able to delegate jobs of who would go where, of who sorts out what, and he had sort of a tactician with him, his assistant coach, who would sort of help him work out where to move around players, where to fix things. And Gerrard was the man manager, right? Because he's able to look at a player like, hey, I'm Steven Gerrard. It's not like he's it's not like he's Graham Potter having to work his respect from coaching all the way at the University of Leicester, if I'm not mistaken. He started all the way from the bottom tier of coaching, making his way to the Premier League within a decade, and him having to earn his stripes there. Meanwhile, Gerrard had a whole playing career of I've won the Champions League, I've been a top Premier League player for the longest time, I've been a top England player for a long time. Listen to what I say. So I think him having that pedigree as a man manager was working for a bit, but as soon as you lose the cogs in your engine to sort of keep that going, that's where it doesn't work out as well. Where, you feel bad for Gerrard because obviously any new manager coming up, you want them to do well. But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I mean, the only other example I can think of this was, I wouldn't say Chelsea with Lampard, because Chelsea with Lampard was different.
That was exactly what I was going to bring up.
No, because
he's struggling.
Well, he's struggling, but he's not struggling at Everton. I think Everton, there's a clear way of where they want to play. It's just they are still within a rebuild of sorts because they brought in two brand new center backs in Tarkowski and Connor Cody, which were two steals of a pickup, by the way.
Connor Cody was a great pickup. He's a great player.
I don't know why Wolves would let him go, but besides the point.
Speaking of Everton, didn't you let Richarlison go, which shocked me because Richarlison is a good player, but he's so inconsistent.
Financial fair play.
Shocked.
Financial fair play is the main reason why right there, because Everton owe a lot in financial fair play.
They do, and. Yeah, Lampard's having a rocky start. He has some big wins. I think they beat us recently.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They really pulled us to our pastures when it came against United, because that United game, it was not an easy game. It started off with a Iwobi banger. Let's just not go over the fact how much Iwobi has evolved from being someone who was on the fringes at Arsenal to becoming one of the best midfielders in the Prem this season, without a doubt.
Was he Chelsea before, if I'm right?
No, he was at Arsenal. He was at Arsenal before Everton.
Arsenal. Oh,
Yeah.
Also, Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Oh,
Great talent. So injury prone and so consistent. He's a coach. It's a great young talent for England, but I think I don't know what it is. He's 25. He should be peaking right now.
But I think he has had the proper time to develop DCL. Obviously, as you said, injuries keep holding him back. So he really hasn't been able to hit his stride. Because obviously, we see how good of a player he is. Yeah. When it was him, Ancelotti, and James Rodriguez, we saw his talent at full works there at Everton. Yeah. Like, we know how good of a striker he can be.
I think it's just the service that surrounds him. If you put a good service around DCL, I feel like he'll definitely...
Yeah, but right now, are you kidding me? Their output is... I mean, first of all, the fact that they got James Gardner really upsets me. The fact that we let him go to Everton really upsets me right now. I'm not going to lie. He's someone who's levels above Scott McTominay. Like, I like McTominay, youth talent. You want to see him do well, but he's a mid-table Premier League baller at best. Mid-table at best.
Yeah, if we're staying on the topic of Everton, two good pickups I've had recently were Decore and Demarai Gray.
No,
they were really good pickups.
Yeah, but I think you have to give credit for them to getting Onana. Onana 6'5" in the midfield, really being a physical presence. Like, he caused a lot. Well, from what I saw with him against United, he was basically what Idrissa Gana Gueye used to be at Everton before he left, with height. That's what I'm sort of seeing from him, which is really impressive because Idrissa Gana Gueye, before he left at PSG, was probably the most stupid career move in his life. Yeah. Before he left for PSG, he was averaging 6 tackles and interception per match with over an 88% pass completion rate. And his ball progression numbers into the final third were absolutely mental at CDM. Like, that just goes to show how supernova he was before he left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, if we go back to Everton, one of the biggest shocks from Everton was the fact before they got rid of Rafa Benitez, they let him sell Luca Dean to us. Which was a huge That one was, I felt like Rafa Benitez was spiking them. I felt like he knew he was going, so he wanted to take away one of their best players. He is cracking play. That free kick he scored against you, I hate to pull on your heartstrings, but that free kick was disgusting.
Oh yeah, I know.
Did you hear the British commentary on that?
Yeah,
they were commenting on the fact that the wall was placed wrong. If the wall was placed for the left footer, because I didn't expect Dean to take it. If the wall was placed better for the left footer, it probably wouldn't have gone in. It probably would have hit the wall. It made it so much harder, but he placed it in a weird spot. And I didn't even think of that. But staying on Villa, we've got Philip Coutinho, who has not been performing recently. Hopefully under Emery he can shine.
Well, yeah, he's been injured at the moment, but
But even before that, he's had a lackluster season.
Here's the thing. Last season, he came in, he finally was able to escape from Barcelona. He was finally able to link up.
He had some moments of brilliance.
But you know what it is? I think Villa, when they finally have that front three, like, actually starting together, because ever since they bought Bailey, Ings, and Buendia, it's taken them about a year and then some to even get them starting together.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they've all been injured outside of each other. Bailly was out last season with what, a knee injury? So he couldn't really play for most of the season.
He was injured. He'd get injured, he'd come back, play a few matches, get injured, and it was sad.
Yeah, exactly. And then you also had Danny Ings, who was picking up random ankle knocks that we haven't seen him get in his career before. You also had Buendia, who was coming in and out of the side. And then
Buendia was a great time.
Without a doubt. Buendia, I thought he was going to go to like a top level team. Like, I'm not saying Aston Villa is top level, but you know what I mean. I thought he was going to go like top 6, like, personally. I thought like a Tottenham or someone was going to pick him up.
I tell you what the saddest thing this season for Villa was. Ludwig Augustinsson, first start for the team. You know, I hadn't seen him play. I was excited. Bloody gets injured in his first match.
Yeah, Augustinsson is someone who I've seen play in La Liga before for Sevilla, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And he was someone who was like, what is this, like, 6-foot Swedish lad doing in the La Liga right now? Like, talk about looking the complete opposite from the rest of the league right there. Like, he makes no sense.
Yeah. Also, the confusing thing for Villa, we picked up Callum Chambers. We've barely played him. He is a cracking defender.
Yeah, really
honestly, with Ming's inconsistency, he should have been given a chance. With Conte's inconsistency, he should have been given a chance, and he wasn't. And
Whoa. I will give you Tyrone Mings being inconsistent. He should be better, but don't you dare disrespect the boy Ezri Konsa. I love that man. He's been lights out for Aston Villa when he plays. Lights out.
He's a great player, but he is been so inconsistent throughout last season. Last
season was injuries, and then also they were rotating him between Tuanzebe, House, and also Tyrone Mings. Yeah, it was rotating between them four. So I think that's what it was.
Yeah, the most exciting talent of Villa though is Cameron Archer, without a doubt.
Oh yeah,
he's the most exciting talent, along with Louis Barry.
Wait, my question is, how does Aston Villa pull the Kamara signing when everyone and their mother in the summer was trying to sign him?
We had Steven Gerrard.
That's true.
Same thing with Diego Carlos.
Yeah. Diego Carlos. I mean, that's someone where the first 2 games he was great and then gets injured. And then
he's not.
But this past weekend he played, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he showed how much of a difference he makes in that back line.
No, Carlos is still out injured till February.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Who was it that started over the weekend that was injured? I'm trying to remember.
When we started the weekend would have been, who would that have been? Oh, it would have been Luke Dean. He was injured.
Oh, Luke Dean came back from injury, right? That's who it was. Sorry. Confused my players.
Yeah, we got Coutinho out injured as well at the moment still till the end of next month. Which is sad, but, hopefully we get to see him play around Christmas. But no, Cameron Archer, he's been doing good. And Louis Barry is not talked about enough. He's out. Who's he with right now? Because I've got him followed on FootMob. FootMob's a great app, by the way.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. Just letting you know, FootMob is like the resident app we hear at Match Week. Like, anytime I'm like, Steven, check the stats. Go straight to FootMob.
Let me check who Louis Barry's at right now. Yeah, because I've got him followed. He's at Milton Keynes Arms on loan.
Jacob Ramsey,
Jacob Ramsey, oh my God,
he's a gem.
But Louis Barry is he's on loan at Milton Keynes until July next year.
Yeah.
And he's been doing great. He did great at Swindon. He scored 6 goals for Swindon. And we got him from Barcelona, if I remember right.
Yeah, Barcelona's youth academy, which was
Yeah.
I don't get some of these sales that happen sometimes when it comes to Barca.
Sometimes.
Like they're all about like La Masia. Meanwhile, they're sending them out to other like youth clubs. Like, why not? We don't need them.
The best transfer we did though, as sad as it was to see him go, was Grealish. We got 100 billion
for him.
He barely performed at City. He barely performed at City.
No, because you know what it is? This is the best way I explain Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish, sorry, like I'm messing up my words. Jack Grealish was 110% a Alex Ferguson player, without a doubt.
Yes.
That is someone.
You have to let him play his way.
Exactly. Like that's where if Fergie had him, he knows like, okay, you do you on the pitch. You help us win the game.
Play around you.
Don't worry about the system. But that's the issue with him at City. He is not a system player with Pep. He does not fit Pep's system at all.
Pep's system is always possession-based, passive move. Grealish is a flashy player who gets the ball, he makes the runs, and he plays his own way. We played around him. We built the team around him.
Yeah.
And then, because of the release clause, if a club offered 100 million and they were Champions League level club, we had to let him go. And he was been lackluster there, and it's sad to see him be lackluster. Because he was a great player for Villa, because we played around him. We let him play his way, and it worked. But now he's having to play in a different way, surrounded by superstars. He's not performing, and it is really sad to see.
Yeah, I mean,
he was definitely one of my favorite players to watch.
Here's the thing: when you see him play for England, you see the player that Jack Grealish can be. But
yes, because Southgate lets him play. Speaking of Southgate, he needs to go. He's not doing good at all.
Yeah, I'm about to say we're live on air with FCC rules here, Jake. So we gotta watch it with the language. Luckily, luckily we have something here to help us out. But you just help us out a bit there, but you know.
I will. I'm sorry, but no. Southgate, the way he's been playing for England, playing England has been very defensive.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the match against Italy recently.
I
we
saw
should
it.
have won.
Yeah.
And it was just so bad. It's always just, play back, play defensive, really slow. It's how he used to play as a player. Really slow, really methodical. And he was a great player. But he's not doing it for England at the moment. And as much as I love him as a player, as a manager, I feel like we need something different. Because if we're going to perform in this World Cup, we need to have the flash in the attack. We need to have the big fast build up, the quick build up, the quick attacks, and we just don't have that.
I mean, that's the team you sort of have though. It's like when you're going to have a midfield three of, they're not even going to play a midfield three. Knowing Southgate, they're going to play a back five with 2 in the middle and then 3 up top.
We usually, so with Southgate, we either play a back 3 or a back 4. If we play a back 3, we can play Maguire because Maguire plays well in the back 3.
No, I'm sorry, Maguire should not be called up. I'm saying this right now. Maguire cannot get called up.
No, but he should not be called up, and neither should. Who was I thinking of?
James Ward-Prowse.
I was thinking of who shouldn't be called up.
James Ward-Prowse and Henderson are the 2 I wouldn't call up, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. James Ward-Prowse only good at free kicks. Amazing free kick taker. Beyond that, not got much else playing for him. And Henderson's just getting too old and too slow.
Well, I mean, Henderson, there's no argument for having him in the locker room because you need someone with that experience and that leadership, which makes sense.
I agree.
But
and Kane should not be captain.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Harry Kane. I think that whole debacle in the summer really just threw everything off for him.
My wholehearted belief is a midfielder should be captain or a defender because they're in the middle of the play. They're in the middle of everything going on, especially in midfield. They're literally in the center of the play, so they should be making the calls. Not some striker just because it's a big name and really good should he get the captaincy.
You see, like
goalkeepers also shouldn't be captain.
I think goalkeepers should be a captain. That's the argument I'll make. I think because the goalkeeper sees everything on the pitch, right? They have a whole view of how, and then they have to organize the defense. They have to organize the team, and everything starts from the goalie sending out the messages of where everything should go, and everything follows suit. Because the goalkeeper is the stagnant one, the one that's watching the game at all times, because they can't lose their focus whatsoever.
We're gonna give your captain bands to Pickford or
oh no, not Pickford.
Oh,
Pope,
no,
yes.
no.
Pope, yes. Not Pickford.
Pope over Pickford. Pope and Ramsdale over Pickford. Pickford, got the nickname T-Rex over here because he seems to have short arms because he can't seem to make the saves, and then all he does is shout at his defense and blame his defense.
Yeah.
Granted, some of the plays at Everton, the defense has been at fault, and but you can't just shout at your defense all the time.
Well, I do have to say Pickford has had a better season than the past couple. Yeah. He has been doing very well with Everton this season. I think that's also been the big help of having a huge improvement in defense. Because don't get me wrong, Michael Keane and Yerry Mina are good, but they're not at the level of a Connor Cody or Tarkowski.
Also, what you got to look at is Newcastle, right? Nick Pope is Newcastle. They've only conceded 11 goals.
But also their defense is insane. Their defense with Dan. First off, I'm saying this right now. If England fans cannot agree with the fact that Dan Burns should get called up, you do not have a right to say who should get called up.
I haven't seen enough of him, but I also think that with Matt Targett. He left. That peeved me off because he left because he didn't want to compete for his spot in the team. He left Villa because he didn't want to compete with Dean for the spot in the team when that should be what's driving him to play better to get his spot back.
But meanwhile, Matt Targett's not even starting because they have Dan Burn playing at left back.
Exactly.
So it's like.
So he went from a team where he was getting guaranteed game time and probably would have been rotated out between him and Dean instead of Ashley Young being there. He went to just sit on the bench and it's sad because Matt Targett was a great talent. We had a great backline with him. Matty Cash, even though he switched to Poland. Great player.
Oh yeah, Matty Cash. What a baller.
Matty Cash. He started out as a winger, and you can see it in his play by how he plays right back.
Well, he was also another person that was on the Fozcast. I feel like we low key just promote them all the time. No call to actions here. But he was also another person on the Fozcast, and his story was really interesting because he talks about how like from the youth academy setups of not being guaranteed, always rotating through clubs and stuff. And starting out as like a midfielder, as a winger, and then for only the past like 3 seasons in the Prem is his first full like real 3 seasons at right back.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely mental if you think about it.
If we stay on the topic of wingers playing in defense, Chelsea recently played Sterling on the left wing back.
Well, I think that's just Graham Potter who likes to tinker, and I think that with having Chilwell being a little inconsistent and sort of forcing Cucurella to play more as like a left center back, that having Sterling who likes to press on the ball, who will work, but who's obviously not as talented. I don't think he's as good as everyone makes him out to be. But anyways,
he's not. He's a bit overrated. But playing an attacker as a wing back is great because they know how to run up, they know how to get up there, and they will have the work ethic to get back because they want to prove themselves to stay in the team. And hell, Sterling is the kind of player I feel like where if he's being told, look, if you want to play in the team, you have to play it as like in a different position, he'll do it. He's got a great work ethic, but he goes down too easily for tackles. He goes down too easily for penalties. And he's just he's another inconsistent player. We have a lot of inconsistent players at England, but when Sterling is playing at his best, he's an incredible player.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
One of the players of the generation.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, I feel like he does get the mick taken out of him too much from the English press where
how he runs.
Well, just because of like how he runs, but also like they'll always like do a lot to always pull him down for no reason, where meanwhile he's like one of the like most like kind-hearted, one of the most like promoted and boastful players.
He's one of the big spokespeople against racism in football, which I have big respect for. Racism in football should not be a thing. It shouldn't matter what colour skin you are. If you're a good player, you're a good player.
Well, I mean, we saw this after the Euro final, right, where a huge wave of racism hit a lot of the players. I mean,
it was mainly Saka, which was
Saka, Rashford, and Sancho, the two that were subbed on the 118th minute. By the way, where's the logic in subbing on two of your most dynamic players in the 118th minute just to play 2 minutes for penalties when they've never taken a penalty on as big of a stage as the Euros? Like, where's the logic?
Also, Chiellini should have had a red card because he basically choked Saka when Saka had the ball, pulling on his collar, and all he got was a yellow card.
Which is
very fortunate. If he hadn't been on the pitch, he was the one who scored the winning penalty.
But also, I mean, not to give credit to United, but Shawberto Carlos scoring in the final. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but no, that final was full of controversy. Not just saying, I'm just saying it as a neutral, like
of course, yeah.
But that tackle, that pulling of the collar, should have been a red card because that put the player in danger. It was reckless and it endangered the player, which by the definition of the law should be a red card. It was foul play. It was violent conduct.
And real quick, you are listening top of the hour on WMSC Upper Montclair. Continue. I'm sorry, we have like stuff we have to do here on the radio station.
Yeah, it's fine. I get it. But no, I mean, that's the thing though. We've got so many good English players in the Premier League and abroad now. We got Tammy Abrahams. He's out at Roma, I think. Is it Roma?
If Tammy doesn't get called up, there's a big problem. Tammy Abraham, who's at Roma, he has been lights out in the Serie A. Like, it's actually insane.
You got Bellingham, who's at Dortmund.
Yeah.
Is it Dortmund? Yeah, it's Dortmund. I think Liverpool have reached an agreement with him to possibly sign him in January.
Well, supposedly United's in talk with him as well to have him on a pre-contract in the summer. So a lot of English clubs want him without a doubt.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the England players going around. I mean, we've got Smalling. Where's Smalling at?
Roma. Chris Smalling's at Roma as well. And he's someone, I'm sorry, he was an underrated defender at Manchester United. Okay? In that 14-15 season, in that, actually no, I would say closer to like the 15-16 season. Within that 2-season stint, he was probably one of the best defenders in the Prem. Without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. I'll say that wholeheartedly. I don't care about Vincent Kompany. Virgil van Dijk, get out of here. You're still at Southampton. Gary Cahill, go transfer to Bournemouth and then just retire. No one cares about you. No, all jokes aside. But no, like seriously, I think he's someone who's been very undervalued, especially for the England setup. And then also, we can't forget about Tomori at AC Milan, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, true. That's very true.
But
yeah, that's the thing. We produce so many good players, and so many of them go abroad because they don't get as much attention in the Premier League. Because some players can't play the Premier League is a completely different way of playing. The Premier League is very fast paced. It's very much it's a very fast paced league. Whereas you look at the French league, it's very much slow with only the attackers really being fast. But then again, there's only a couple of good teams in the French league. No disrespect to them, of course.
Well, I mean, full disrespect. They are a farmers' league, the Liga, and plain
same
simple.
with the Germans, because.
I mean,
like 10 years in a row.
I mean, Jake, the Bayern Liga, we have to give some credit to, you know.
No, look, come on, a little bit.
Bayern Munich have won it like 10 years in a row.
So sort of transitioning more into the World Cup talk now. England, they're not going to have Reece James. How are we feeling about that?
I'm not overly worried. Reece James is a good player when he's playing at his best. Well, when he's not performing, he's very lackluster, very underwhelming.
I mean, here's the thing, but we haven't seen that many lackluster performances come out of Reece James. Like he's one of the few players.
England,
I mean,
he's the best player at Chelsea.
Right now.
England is a big stage. It's a much bigger stage, but he's a good player as right back. We've also got Trippier, we've got Kyle Walker.
Yeah. Well, we also got Trent. I mean, I don't know what your opinions are about Trent.
Trent's a good player, but I feel like he's a little bit overrated.
Well, here's the best way I explain Trent. Trent is if David Beckham played right back. That's the best way to explain Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I was going to say Trent's kind of like a Porsche. You know, you buy it because you can. It looks nice. It's a little bit fast. It's a little bit nice. But there are better things than a Porsche.
Yeah.
But no, I think having Trent and Trippier and calling up, because Kyle Walker will play, but also we have Ben White, who's been outfitted at right back for Arsenal. But if I'm England, well, actually, here's the thing. So if you're, let's go position by position with you. Let's go goalkeepers, defense, midfield, attackers. Who are we calling up for England if it's up to you, Jake?
Okay, so my starting 11 for England would have to be, it's a tough call between Ramsdale and Pope. I think Pope just edges it for me in goal. It slightly edges it. There's not much in it. It's really close. I think left back wise, we're looking at like Chilwell,
Easy.
You're looking at Shaw, obviously, because Shaw's a great player. Hell, even a surprise curveball pick, Ashley Young, with how he's been playing recently.
Oh yeah, you know what? Actually, like Ashley Young's like 37, but I give credit where credit is due there. Like he's actually been still doing well for Villa. Yeah.
He's not got the pace, he's not got the flashiness anymore, but he makes up for it in pure hard work from the start to the end of the match.
But also his footballing IQ is still there. It's not like he's always been a smart player.
I mean, Lukaku said when he played with him, was it Inter Milan? Was it Inter?
Inter and Man United. They were together at both clubs.
Yeah. He said Ashley Young is one of the best players that I played with, and that was when Ashley Young came to us. He was praising him. Yeah. He said he's going to miss playing with him. So that's probably my left back between those three. In centre back, it's a tough call for centre backs because we've got so many choices. Cody.
So I have a question. Do you want me to give mine first so you don't feel that pressured?
No, I'll get mine first.
Okay. You do you, bud. You do you. Just trying to help you.
I've already started it, so I might as well finish.
Okay, you go.
Centre backs are probably going to go with Cody. You rotate through Cody. You rotate Maguire here and there. He's not performing the best, but you got to give him a shot because he is a good player. You go with Cody.
You're too nice.
Maguire. Maybe you throw some Mings and Contra in there just again as another curveball, not just as a Villa fan, but they have been doing pretty well. I think who else is a good defender for England? Because I want to throw another one in there.
You also have Kyle Walker who plays center back. You have Ben White. You have John Stones. You have Tamori. You have Dyer.
Yeah. You have to put Stones in it. Dyer's past. Dyer's washed.
Okay, yeah. I just threw him in there because I wanted you to say that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but at right back, you got to consider it between Trent. You got to put Trippier. You got to put Walker in there. But all of those can play center back too. All of those can do. I think that could also play out the right way.
So here's the thing. Like, if you're to make a back three, in my opinion, it has to be. Ooh, this is a tough one. I think I would call it as Stones, Tamori, and Walker as your three center backs.
For my back three, I'd go Maguire, Stones, and Walker.
Yeah,
Maguire is really good in the back three. Maguire is really good in the back three.
This is the one. This is the one way. This is the one way.
I hate Maguire.
No. When I defend Harry Maguire, I say this: at the international stage, he has a team where everyone is protecting him. Okay? He has his left back, his two center backs, and his two midfielders that are always there around him to protect him from mistakes. I will always say at the England level, he does differently because he has a support system around him. At United, you can't afford to have a support system because it takes away from how dynamic of a team you can be. Now we can continue.
Yeah. My only point with Maguire is he plays well in the back three at Man United. He's always played well in the back three. He's really good at it. That's why I'm picking him as I'm going with the back three. For going to the midfield now, Phillips has to be in there.
Yeah, but Phillips is injured. But he's not going to be able to make it to the World Cup.
I don't think he's going to be called.
Yeah, he's not going to go to the World Cup, but if he wasn't injured, Phillips has to go. But you'd probably play Rice as your, defensive midfielder. Yeah. He's a great player. You probably play him with Mount. You have to have Mount in there. He's another cracking player.
Well, I mean, for Southgate, for some reason, he's been playing Mount as like a right forward sort of, someone who likes to free roam around and help out in the midfield and the attack.
Yeah, so you could play him midfield, you could play him on the wing, you could play him in any of those positions and he'll do well. Then I'm gonna go with, oh fuck, no, I didn't say that, I said feck, don't worry about it. For midfield, Ramsey needs a call up, he needs his shot. He needs
you would choose, Jacob Ramsey over Bellingham?
Yeah, over Bellingham, yeah.
Okay.
100%. Bellingham has not done well for England. He's played a couple of times for England.
That's a hot take. Well. That's a hot take. Because
I'm gonna
because if you're gonna play with the back five, you're probably gonna play with the midfield two. And if I'm picking a midfield two,
don't get me wrong, I think Jacob Rice is extremely talented, but it's just
but for me, if you're gonna do a midfield two, it's either Rice and Bellingham or Rice and James Maddison. In my opinion,
James Maddison, I'd play on the wing. I'd play him on the left wing.
But then on the wings though, you have people like Foden, Sterling, Saka, Rashford, even Ivan Toney, who's been experimenting in those roles. Like that's someone who hasn't even been mentioned for a shout yet, and he's been insane this season.
He's been playing well, yeah. But I'd still have to consider Ramsey in the midfield. No matter what number of people in there, you got to consider Ramsey. He is an up-and-coming star, and I think he needs his break in the England squad. Because he did well in the under-21's England squad. He did really well. He scored some goals. I feel like he needs a chance. But that's where it gets complicated, because we don't have that many good people in defense. But when it comes to the midfield and the attack, we're stacked. We got so many bright midfielders and attackers. It's too many to choose from.
But I think also there's a point that Southgate has his favorites.
Yeah.
So
he does.
we won't see a lot of the players that we want to see in the England setup, right?
Exactly. You'll always see Kane in the attack. You'll always see Sterling there somewhere, and you'll most likely always see Rashford there. That's probably the front three he's going to go with. But Foden over Rashford, 100%.
Yeah.
Foden is better than Rashford.
Actually,
Rashford's a
low
good
key.
player.
I mean, low key with the system that Ten Hag's put in place for a front three. I mean, having a Saka, Foden, and Rashford's front three, I think, would be really beneficial for England. That's just my personal opinion.
Personally, I'd love to see Kane, Mount, and Foden.
Yeah, but I think here's the thing I love and hate about Harry Kane. Harry Kane is someone who, when he doesn't get the ball, he'll drop it to the midfield, pick up, he'll find the passes. That's what he's exquisite at. But I think at the international level, you need people who are going to prioritize trying to score you goals. Because internationals, it's not about how great a football you play. It's about how many goals you can score.
I mean, he was top scorer at the last World Cup.
Yeah, but also the last World Cup was a different team. Let's be real right now. I mean, it was a different team.
But you can't exclude that. It's like,
I know I can't. But I think it's the same argument that goes into Harry Maguire. With someone who's been so out of form, someone who's been struggling in the international setup when it comes to, because the Euros, he didn't really do much. The Euros was a lot of the Euros was a lot of Saka and Raheem Sterling doing a lot of the heavy work at the front line. That's what it really was.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that. But Harry Kane, given the service from, if you got Foden and Mount up there.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, without a doubt. I think Kane definitely deserves a shout, without a doubt.
Yeah, if you got Mount, Kane, and Foden up there, they're going to be whipping balls in. They're going to be, because they're all creative players. Those Mount and Foden are two of the most creative players we've got.
Well,
they'll be whipping balls in. Mount would be going back and getting the ball in midfield and bringing it up and giving Kane the service. Again, it's very reliant on giving Kane the service.
Well, my thing is that Phil Foden is probably one of the best English talents we've seen since Wayne Rooney. I'll say that right now. I hate to say it because I hate to say it because he's a City product. We don't like City on this show. Anti-City. But give credit where credit is due. He is someone who is a talent for the future because, I mean, like, besides, like, I see him at the Wayne Rooney level because at such a young age being so, like, talented on the ball and slowly but surely learning his footballing IQ and learning how to play the game in the Prem, I think he's just building another level of his stature that he could reach.
Yeah.
Also, if we go back to Kane for a moment, you were saying that Kane's, not been doing that good. He's second top goal scorer in the Premier League right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
the only
what do you mean?
Ahead of him is Erling Haaland.
He's
Kane. A bloody machine.
I know, like, but that's the thing. Like, it's just. I mean, I do have to give him credit because
he's getting overshadowed by Haaland at this moment.
I mean,
that's the only thing.
But Kane is doing brilliant. That's the thing. That's what I'd understand. People.
Two of the top four goal scorers are British in the Premier League. You got Ivan Toney with 8 goals. You got Harry Kane with 11. And you got Erling Haaland with 18.
But like me, I would give more credit to Ivan Toney because of what he's had to do to get those 8 goals. Because he's had to take free kicks, he's had to make sure he's getting on the penalty spot, he's had to make sure he's creating chances from open play for Brentford. That is someone who I would give more credit to. Because Spurs right now are playing dreadful football. They really are. They're just sitting. Struggling. They're playing anti-football. They're just playing Conte way of sitting in the back, waiting for the pressure, and letting Kane take a random pot shot. That's really what it's been lately.
But he scores it.
And you've got.
I mean, sure. Okay.
He's been consistent.
To your point, you're right. He does score. He does
Ivan
score.
Toney is that he hasn't scored against many as different PL teams than Harry Kane this season. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think Ivan Toney's issue, I think it's just his service. Like, Jake's been making the point nonstop. A footballer up top can only be as good as the service behind him.
Yeah, I say
it's
you
like a goalkeeper's only as good as his defense.
I definitely think you could give him a shot.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, actually, that argument sort of goes against for like David De Gea, who kept United up for like 7 seasons with a horrendous defense.
Well, to be fair, he had Maguire.
Wait,
actually, scoring own goals.
Wait. Actually, hold on a second. We gotta talk about this. How does David De Gea not get called up to Spain?
Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't.
How?
Because
I'm not saying this as a United fan. I'm genuinely looking at this Spain squad, and don't get me wrong, I love Unai Simon. Unai Simon for Athletic Bilbao is a solid goalkeeper. I think he's good. But
De Gea has the experience.
You're telling me that he's on the level of David De Gea. Like someone who's been a certified Prem player since like 2011 when they signed him from Atletico.
Yeah.
Who's won Premier Leagues, who's made Champions League appearances, who's single-handedly kept United up for numerous seasons. obviously recently he's been on and off. I can say that without a shadow of a doubt. He hasn't been 110% himself, but he's still a top quality goalkeeper.
I definitely think this is like the weakest Spain squad we've seen probably.
I think it's the youngest Spain squad.
Oh, youngest, but also like a little bit weakest.
It's a really young Spain squad, yeah. But Unai Simon, he's been playing great.
Yeah, he's
a
really good player.
young player.
I understand, like, but I think it's the same argument that England has, where it's like, oh, do you pick Pope, Pickford, or
over Raya and Sanchez
or Ramsdale? But like, that's what I'm saying. Like Sanchez for Brighton, he deserves a shout.
He deserves the shouts, but it's just.
But it's just like there's no way you don't call it. Like, I understand he's not the best distributor of the ball, but when it comes to a World Cup, you need someone who's a shot stopper, dude. Like, you cannot overcomplicate it in goals. Someone to stop the shots and boot the ball forward and let the rest of the team figure it out. That's the simple goalkeeping basics you need, especially at a high level.
Definitely, but it all comes down to performances, and David De Gea, because of his unfortunate luck because he's getting a bad defense, he's let a lot of goals in last season.
Well, yeah,
it was a shame. No disrespect to him. He's a really good goalkeeper, top class goalkeeper, one of the best in the world, easily.
But I think right now this Spain defense is better than the United defense of the past, like not this season, but past season. So I think that's something you have to give trust in. So it's a really tough call. It really is. Yeah. But
it is a really tough call.
I have a question. Have you seen some of the other confirmed World Cup squads?
No, I have not. I haven't really been following that yet, and I should be. I'll probably have to.
So if you don't mind, I'll mention them for you. We have the Croatia squad announced. We have the Switzerland squad announced. And we have the Brazil squad called. Now, I do have to give a big news report that Sadio Mane will be missing the World Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He is missing the World Cup due to injury.
That broke my heart.
It broke everyone's heart. Because like that just goes to show how horrendous it is having a World Cup in the winter.
It's terrible.
And why we shouldn't allow Qatar to have it in the winter, but it is what it is. I understand it's going to be 170 degrees in the summer, and guess what? You just don't let Qatar.
But the good news
is
Son is playing though.
Son is playing. Yeah. Yes, that is a big positive. So for Brazil, I think this is controversial for Brazil. So obviously, as you would know, Jake, Alisson and Ederson rightfully called up, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And then the whole club of Everton being called up. No, I'm just joking. There's a goalkeeper named Weverton. I thought it was like a funny pun. Everton, Wever. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm so stupid.
That was such a bad pun. What the hell?
I know. So for defense, hold on. For defense, this defense is controversial. I'm gonna say why in just a moment. Danilo, Dani Alves, Alexandro, Alex Telles, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Eder Militao, and Bremer. Who is the one name we're missing right now?
Gabriel.
Gabriel for Arsenal. Diego Carlos has been injured.
Yeah.
He's been injured.
Oh, no.
Gabriel has been absolute lights out defender for Arsenal. Arsenal are top of the league, and you're telling me you don't call up Gabriel to the World Cup?
People are supposed to be saying that Saliba covers up.
Yeah, but look at the quality they got there. Militao has been great for
Saliba covers up for his
Alexandro
mistakes,
has been having a great season.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But like Gabriel is like a more dynamic player, where it's like if you want a back three of Militao, Marquinhos, and Silva, guess what? He could fill in at the right flank instead of having a 40-year-old Dani Alves or a Garbanzo Beans Danilo.
I'm not mad over Dani Alves. I'm mad over Bremer.
Danilo has been doing good. What the hell?
But the thing is, Bremer's a good defender, but I prefer Gabriel over that.
Well, no, like Danilo, he's not.
The thing is, who else would you have in that right back position besides Danilo? Danilo.
That's where like you could sort of experiment and throw Gabriel there. Gabriel in his career has played at center back and right back. Pull Ben White with him. I think.
But like you can't do that in the World Cup. You can't just randomly okay. You know what? We're gonna try to put you at.
I'm sorry, but like Bremer, like don't get me wrong, Bremer for Torino has been lights out.
No, he has been the best defender.
But for Juve,
he's been the best defender in the Serie A for that Torino season. But if we saw already Romero, how he went to Spurs, he's just been average at Spurs. And he was the best defender. He was the best defender at Atlanta.
Yeah, but like no, I think Romero's been the reason why Spurs hasn't conceded so many more goals. Him and Lloris has been carrying that back line. Because Eric Dyer, who's a danger to the back line, we can obviously agree, right, Jake?
Yeah, definitely.
Eric Dyer, who's a danger to the back line.
Yeah, we saw him against Liverpool.
Christian Romero has been helping. Plus Lenglet, I think that's someone who went under the radar this season. Lenglet for Tottenham has been pretty solid. I would say. But I mean, that's been my biggest gripe. I think you can't have someone whose team is top of the Premier League and who's been starting nearly every game of the Prem.
Yeah.
And not have them called up. I think is a bit ridiculous. Would you agree, Jake? Or would you disagree?
Agree, but I would agree to a point. But also, some of the players they are calling up over that person have been really good. I feel like Danilo's had a really strong season. Alexandra's had a really, really strong season.
I'm not disappointed.
Daniel Alexander Silva, despite
their
age, are just gladiators in defense.
Well, here's the thing.
Moncayo is a class.
Oh, yeah, no. But here's the thing. You could make that argument for Danilo. But Alexandro has had the least minutes out of any Juve player in the past 2 seasons.
But who else would you put in that left back spot? Lodi?
But he's also so
just play a back three. Like, just play 3 center backs and let the rest of the team go wild.
It's just that's not how they play. That's not how Brazil plays. So you have to understand, like, sometimes Brazil just have, like, the coaches has, like, they have their system. Just like Southgate has his system. The Brazil manager has his system. He likes playing with the left back and right back.
Brazil have pretty much always played 4 at the back.
Exactly.
Always
that's it's
just the way Brazil plays. Brazil usually will play a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. They don't really change from that.
Who else would you put in that left back position?
I mean,
you have Alex Telles, but he's below par.
I mean, but here's the thing. He's had a revitalization back at Sevilla now. Because he's been playing at left back, and they've allowed Acuna to play more of like a center mid role, where Acuna really thrives. Because he's like that dynamic left back that's not really a left back, you know what I'm saying? That role that we were seeing like develop out of these past couple of
seasons. You also have Lodi, and
right now Lodi, he's gone Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, but
I think Nottingham Forest's biggest problem is that when you sign 21 players to 21 new players to your club, you can't expect all of them to gel so well so fast.
And then there's this left back at Atletico Madrid. I think his name is Enrique.
Oh yeah, Luis Enrique. They signed him from.
I think it's Portugal.
They signed him. I thought they signed him from the Liga. No,
I don't even know.
Like Chao Enrique. His name was it?
Yeah,
I thought that was his name. Yeah. I thought they signed him from Liga.
He's been okay too, but I think Alexander's just okay. You know what? He's the guy with the most experience.
Sandro, I understand.
He's the guy with the most, pedigree. So
don't get me wrong, Sandro, I understand, but like I said, like Juve has not been wanting to play him, and I think that's sort of a bit of a concern for someone like Juventus. But moving on to the midfield. In the midfield, of course, Manchester's red. We have Casemiro and Fred being called up. Come on. No, all jokes aside, Casemiro 100%. Fred, that's 50-50. I don't know if I agree with that one. Bruno Guimaraes. Oh my God. What a baller for Newcastle. The fact he's getting called up is insane.
Yeah.
We also have Lucas Paqueta and we have Fabinho, who's really good.
Yeah. And
then from the Brazilian league, from Flamengo, we got Everton Ribeiro.
I looked into him. He did really good in the Copa Libertadores.
Like I said, dude, Brazil's calling up the whole Everton team right now. So.
I'm surprised they didn't call up a guy named Everton actually from Benfica.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
But I mean, when you have the players we're going to talk about in a bit performing really well, I think the forward line is really hard to like make it into.
No, yeah, definitely.
What do we think right now about a lot of these Prem Brazilians? Basically, all 5 besides Everton are Premier League footballers.
I think it's pretty spot on.
What do we think, Jake?
I think all the ones that have been called up for Brazil, really good players. They've all been performing. The Brazilians have been performing really well in the Premier League.
I mean,
it's really good to see.
I think Fred's a really good pick too.
I think Fred, if he's honest,
on the Brazil team.
No. Like Brazil, if he's like not in his own head.
Yeah.
I think that's the Fred you want because there's times where like Fred is a workhorse and he'll pull off like these random nifty things and he'll get you into space and find the right passes.
If we get the prime Fred, then he'll
like
do
if we get
really good at the World Cup.
If we get Fredinho, we're chilling.
Fredinho, there we
go. We're chilling. But no, I think Fred is a really good workhorse and a good dynamic option to have for Brazil. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think he's one of the best players at United, but I think he does have a role.
So, what would you be your midfield 3?
Oh, without a doubt, it's Casemiro, Bruno Guimaraes, and Fabinho.
People are saying iffy, but I don't know.
Fabinho.
I'm a little bit iffy about Fabinho.
Well, Fabinho or Paqueta. Yeah, I don't know if I want to have a holding midfield of Casemiro and Fabinho and Bruno Guimaraes in front of them.
We could definitely agree on Casemiro as a holding mid.
Well, because, dude, even in the Prem, he's been doing so well.
But Fabinho's really good too.
Like, I think that's where we have to give kudos. Like, don't get me wrong, Casemiro won the 3-peat with Real Madrid, and then won it a 4th again after that. Like, he has 4 Champions League under his name. He's been lights out in the game. Like, he's considered that, like, midfield dynasty of, like, Kroos with Modric. Like, he's a part of that. And he's someone, even for his age at 31, handling the Prem, doing well.
Yeah.
So I think that's somewhere to give credit where credit is due. And even so, like Bruno Guimaraes, you can't not have him start. Like, have you seen Bruno Guimaraes for Newcastle, Jake?
I have, yes. He's been doing pretty well from what I've seen, at least.
Yeah, like, Bruno Guimaraes.
The thing is, like, they're saying that Neymar's going to play central attacking mid.
There's no way.
You don't think
There's
so?
no way.
Where's he going to play?
There's no way they do that to Neymar.
No.
Where's he going to play?
It's just, look, okay, because here's
on the left wing. That's Vinny's spot.
No. Okay, so listen. So here's the wait, hold on. Here's the forwards that were called up for Brazil. Neymar, Vinicius Jr., Gabriel Jesus, Anthony, Rafinha, Richarlison, Gabriel Martinelli, not the other Gabriel we want, but we still got a Gabriel, you know what I'm saying? Rodrigo and Pedro from Flamengo.
Yeah, he's top scorer of the Copa Libertadores.
Yes. Now, how do you pick a front three out of that league?
Look, Vinny, Richarlison.
That's easy.
And then people are saying Rafinha. We could rotate it, I guess, with
I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's easy to pick a front three from that.
Play Neymar at striker.
People are saying play Neymar striker, but he doesn't. That's the
But
thing.
no, let him play like a false nine.
Like I'm saying, that's the thing is that you can't. You're not the manager. The thing is, the manager has his system. If you guys watch Brazil, Copa America, and the qualifiers, they don't play that.
Hey, Steven. Hey, Steven. Match Week is a great organization, but we're also a fan show. We can say whatever we want, alright?
You're right.
Take your proper analysis and take it to ESPN, bud, alright? We're doing a bit different over here.
Okay, Neymar, but just the thing is, like, he's not gonna play that. He likes Richarlison.
No, I agree. No.
He loves Richarlison.
No, it's probably gonna be Richarlison or Gabriel Jesus at the striker spot. And I think it has to be Jesus over Richarlison.
Jesus over Richarlison?
In my opinion, because
if we're talking current form, but the thing is, in the Brazil squad, Richarlison's a different breed. Did you see him at the Olympics?
I know, I saw him at the Olympics. But,
okay, yeah.
But I think the dynamic play that Gabriel can bring for Neymar and Anthony, that's who I think my front three would be, I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Because Vinicius, I think he's great to come off the bench to maybe take off Anthony and have Neymar switch sides.
No, Vinicius is not playing bench.
Yeah, I mean,
he's playing on the left.
Anthony's starting. Right?
Do think I can make an argument. I can make an argument for Anthony.
No. So what are we thinking, Jake? What are we thinking about this Brazil front line?
My front line, pretty easy. Gabriel Jesus, Neymar, and Vinicius Jr.
Oh, I think he cut out there. After Neymar, he did say Anthony. That is true. No, no, I'm just joking. No. I look, okay. United bias aside, I'm pulling the propaganda out. All right. I 100% has to be Vinicius, Neymar, and Gabi Jesus.
So where's Neymar gonna play? The striker role?
Neymar's playing on the left.
No, I think.
So where's Vinny gonna play?
No. I think Neymar's gonna go out right. And then have Vinicius play left, because Vinicius has been bossing up that left wing. You cannot say Vinicius
when you
does
have
not play
pure
the
right
left
wingers
wing.
like Rafinha and Anthony. It's like that's their spots, you know.
Yeah, but then like
Neymar's gonna play.
But do you see why I thought Neymar at striker and have those two?
I can see the false nine though. I can see the false
because
nine.
like
I can definitely agree with that.
Because I think that because of how versatile of a player he is, and him playing that role a couple of times for PSG, that he wouldn't mind like. Playing the more advanced role and looking for someone to play 1-2s into space and play the obviously tiki-taka ball.
I think it's just a position where Neymar thrives more. They're going to put him there and then just slot.
Yeah, but you also have to optimize the rest of the players you have.
That is
so if Neymar is more versatile, but Vinicius is left wing and you have to play him left wing, I think that's where you sort of have to make the compromise.
Definitely, it's just the Richarlison, like the manager just loves Richarlison. I don't know what it is, but I mean, he loves the kid. He's been brilliant for Brazil though.
No, but you can't blame him though. Like,
but the thing is, people are saying, "Oh, why didn't Firmino get picked over Richarlison?"
Now Richarlison, I would say, why didn't Firmino get picked over Rodrigo?
What?
Yeah,
Rodrigo.
But I'm sorry, but
Rodrigo has
no. I'm sorry, but Anthony, Rafinha, and Gabriel Jesus. Oh wait, but we didn't
talk the Pedro guy.
Wait, hold on a second. We haven't even talked about Martinelli at all.
No, he's class.
Oh, true. We haven't talked about him.
But dude,
he's
like
class.
Martinelli has been sensational for Arsenal. Like that's the funny thing. That Arsenal front three is basically like Brazil, and it's like Saka. Like, hi guys.
No, people were saying that it was either between Martinelli or Firmino. But I think he got its spot. No, it was.
I think it's gonna be over.
No, but
that's
that was the manager's choice though. That was the manager.
But this manager, I think he's gonna choke
the last
Cup
pick.
Right now
the last pick was Firmino or Martinelli, and they said they picked Martinelli over Firmino, the manager.
I mean, if we're going by form,
Firmino, I think it was pretty spot on.
No, but if we're going by form, Firmino has been in just as much form as Martinelli.
I think Firmino should have been called up. over the Pedro guy.
Because then if you have Firmino, you could play him in that midfield 3.
Yeah.
He'll play as that like Cam and like.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if there's one thing Firmino's good at doing, he's good at dropping in between the lines of your wingers and your midfielders.
He's the best defensive striker.
Yeah, he's the best defensive. He's really good at dropping into that space in between your wingers and your midfielders and picking out the proper passes for the link-up play. I think that's what he does really well.
The thing is just like people saying, the system, the manager doesn't play.
You know what? When you have a talented squad like Brazil, you throw the system out of the window.
Well,
do you think there was a system when Pele played, my guy? Do you really think there was a system?
There was no offside.
There was no offsides. There's no need for a system. Come on. Dude. Come on.
Well, yeah, but I do think Firmino needs a shout, but it's just
no. I mean, like at being a Brazil manager, I think it's tough.
But so there's injuries that could happen, and then one man down.
But that's why there's a 26-man squad where if you have an injury, you have people.
No, I mean like before the World Cup, I'm pretty sure they can make changes.
Oh no, so they already did that. They had their 33-man squad of like submitted of like. So this is a 33-man squad we submit.
Yeah.
And if anyone gets injured, those extra 7 players, we can pull from one of them to get called up instead.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of like a rotation system. It's like the reserves of the reserves. Pretty wild.
Okay.
Because that's where Jesse Lingard was for the Euros, and they were like, we're not going to call up Lingard. Meanwhile, the man just came off of like a 6-month insane season.
Yeah.
So like, get off.
They would have won the Euros with that.
Oh, they would. Bro, Jay King's my guy. Oh, crazy. Built different. Actually, I want to hear your opinion about Jesse Lingard, Jake. What do you think about Jesse Lingard?
He's a good player, but he just hasn't performed at the top level in so long now, in my opinion, at least. It's just been disappointing.
What I think is that United really made him backtrack with holding on to him instead of letting him go. And I think I understand him going to Nottingham Forest, of maybe investing in a future with that club, of helping them out. But when it's a club that has to sign so many new players, that's a risk I wouldn't have taken if I were him.
He just destroyed like his, I don't know, like going to Nottingham Forest. He should have went to West Ham or Newcastle.
Well, no, I mean,
because Nottingham Forest.
Imagine Jay Kings at Newcastle right now, my guy.
No, yeah. But the thing is, like Nottingham Forest offered him supposedly $200,000 a week. Like they gave him like the highest wage.
Well, yeah, I mean, like get your bag respectfully.
He was like, all right, let me get my bag and like
let me get your bag respectfully.
He'll probably leave after.
I think also if I'm Jesse Lingard, when you've played for one club for so long, that the next club you go to has to be like, there's a project that I'm invested in there, but that's also helping me personally.
But look at West Ham, look at Newcastle. They definitely had projects.
Yeah, but also
he just went for 9 and 4 for the bag.
No. But I think also the manager makes a big difference too, because someone like it's Steve Cooper. Like if I'm Jesse Lingard, I'm talking to James Gardner saying, hey, how was your time at Nottingham when you were there with the championship? How did it go? And Henderson was already committed to going there on loan. Like, oh, hey, Hendo, if you're going there, I'll go there with you. You know what I'm saying?
So that's true.
I think familiarity of systems and priority talks with players, I think that's when we sort of made that decision. Yeah. What is your thoughts, Jake?
Managers make a big difference. If you look at, taking Grealish for example again, look at how he played under Dean Smith when he was allowed to play how he wanted to play, and look at him playing under Pep Guardiola. Completely different player.
Yeah.
The manager, it's not just his manager, like there's two completely different teams that play completely different ways. But again, if a player gets the right manager that believes in him and will give him the chances and will help him grow as a player, then it's going to be great. But it's all about getting the right manager and the right team around the right player.
Do agree with
It's a lot more to it than, this player does this, and this, but like, how does he fit into your squad?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, and speaking of players fitting into certain squads, we're going to be going to Switzerland. And we're going to talk about how half of the Switzerland national team is Albanians. So they didn't really give us like a detailed lineup. They just more so gave us a list of names on Twitter. So we're going to just go through like player by player. If you know who they are, cool. If you don't, so be it. That's fine. No one expects it. But, oh my God, this is going to be so tough. Michel Abishir. Don't know who he is. I'm not going to lie. Kanji, of course, sensational center back for City, and also when he was at Dortmund. Credit where credit is due. What do you give me, Steven? Oh, Steven. Wow. That's so nice of you, Steven. Steven gave me a detailed list because, Steven's just that guy, built diff. We appreciate him. He's sort of like, the best way to explain Steven is like, anytime I try to say something, he's like frantically trying to like make sure I'm like being proper. Like, is he right? Oh my God. That's sort of what's been happening. So, let's go real quick. Let's go by goalkeepers. So goalkeepers, they have Kobel from Borussia Dortmund. Which, by the way, why is it that Dortmund only wants Swiss goalkeepers? They had Roman Bürki, They had,
I mean, they're good though. They're good.
they have Kobel. They also had the backup Swiss goalkeeper as well. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
And then who was the keeper they had when they made it to the Champions League final?
Oh, they had, I had him in FIFA.
Weinfeller?
Weinfeller.
Yeah. He was the only
was the
German
goat.
they've had in like the past decade of
he was the
goalkeepers.
goat, man.
So we have Kobel. We have Philip Kahn from Salzburg. I think, isn't that not Kahn's son? Like, no, they wait, different Kahn. Never mind. Sorry. Jonas Omlin from Montpellier, who's been doing good. And Jan Sommer. For Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now, obviously, Jake, you're the Premier League connoisseur here. But, I mean, who are you calling up for goalkeeper?
Goalkeeper?
Who are you starting? Out of Jan Sommer?
Yeah, he had a spectacular Euro.
Jan Sommer.
Without
a doubt.
I really want to make an argument for Kobel because of how well Dortmund's done in the back line recently, but you have to put in Jan Sommer without a doubt.
Definitely.
Without a doubt. So defenders, I mean, Akanji, of course. Come on. Akanji for City has been, first off, the fact that City got him for so cheap got me so upset. No. I think it was only like 20, 30 million.
Oh my God.
Like, why did City get bargained?
It was a steal.
Why? United couldn't go in for him?
They're just smart.
Schmucks. And then they have Ure Comer from Valencia, Nico Elvedi from Borussia Mönchengladbach, Ricardo Rodriguez, who plays at Torino. He was at AC Milan. Good. He was at Wolfsburg, that guy.
Left back.
Fabian Schär for Newcastle, who's been great this season. Sylvan Widmer for Mainz.
Never heard of him.
So I think that back line's obviously going to be, I think they might flirt with the back three with Akanji, Elvedi, and Schär, because those are like their three best defenders.
Yeah.
And then for midfielders, they have Edmilson Fernandez of Mainz.
He's okay.
The Ekuche Z Shibtar, Granit Xhaka from Arsenal. That's right. Albanians make up the Switzerland national. There we go. There you go. The flag. I love it, bro. We have Fabian Frey from Basel, who's really good. Remo Freuler from Nottingham Forest. He was really good.
At the Euros.
Well, no, he was really good at the Euros, and he was also really good at Atalanta.
No, yeah, he was.
It's just obviously at Forest,
Huh? Why did he go to Nottingham? I forgot he moved there.
Well, I think because Atalanta, they're on a bit of a downturn because they lost their manager. A whole bunch of players were rotating out, so it was a bit tough.
Yeah, it was really tough.
You have Ardon Jashari, who is another Albanian playing for Switzerland. That's right. He plays for, I don't even know this team. Wow, crazy. I'm not even going to attempt it because the name's so weird. I'm sorry, guys. My ball knowledge is off today. You have Fabian Ryder from Young Boys. You have the other Albanian, Jordan Shaqiri from Chicago Fire. That's right. Wow, the career.
Yeah, he's still probably
he has had such a crazy career.
No, yeah.
Mans was at like Inter Milan,
he was
Bayern, Lyon, Stoke City, Liverpool. Now Chicago Fire. Why not? And then they also have.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I know, right? Like talk about like a diverse player. Then we have Jibril Sao for Frankfurt, who's been really good. Renato Stefan from Lugano. And then we have Dennis Zakaria from Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then we have Michel Abishner, who we talked about before, name I butchered. I apologize. Now, for that midfield, let's start with Jake. Jake, who are you picking?
Which team are we looking at?
Switzerland. Where they have majority Albanians in their call-ups.
I'd say you got to go with Xhaka and Shaqiri. They play really well together.
Yeah.
They play so well together. Then, honestly, it's a tough call because I haven't really seen much of Zakaria for Chelsea. I haven't seen much of him.
Oh yeah.
Well, they haven't really been playing him. I don't know why.
But I think he's still
with Conte. By the way, I can't believe we just missed over this. Conte missing the World Cup, out for 4 months. With Conte injured at Chelsea, how is Zakaria not playing more? But still wild.
Exactly.
France not gonna have.
He scored
Conte.
on his first little game, in the Champions League.
I don't know why anyone allowed him to go to. Guess how much he went to Juve for?
30 million.
8 million.
Oh.
8 million.
Wow.
Because his contract was going to expire in the summer, so they bought him in January.
No, he's
for 8 million.
He's a class player. I don't know why he doesn't
Frustrating, very frustrating. And now Chelsea have him on loan. Like, we're Chelsea, we're smart.
Same thing they did with Saul,
yeah. But Saul had a really bad season though.
Yeah.
So Jake, you're gonna pick Granit Xhaka, Jordan Shaqiri, and who else are you picking?
say the Forest one, Remo, the bloody
Foiler?
say that.
Roller, yeah.
So my midfield is going to have 110% Ekuchezi propaganda. It's going to be Shaqiri.
Obviously.
It's going to be Xhaka. And it's going to be Jashari. Plain and simple. My Albanian midfield. That's going to win you the World Cup. Plain and simple. Ekuchezi, come on. Steven, who are you picking?
No, yeah, definitely. I think like Xhaka, Shaqiri needs to be there, and then
Come on.
no, I don't know.
Ekuchezi, come on. Ekuchezi.
No, I think I'll put Freuler in there.
Yeah, okay. Bias it. Okay, again, I'm going to pull the propaganda out. I'm going to just try to like not leave it in there. 100% I think Freuler has to start for Switzerland.
Really good Euros. Hopefully he does the same.
Now for the front line, you have Briel and Bolo, who went from Mönchengladbach to Monaco this summer.
Yeah.
You have Fosnak from Young Boys. You have Okafor for Salzburg, who's been really good.
He's been really good, yeah.
And you have Seferovic for Galatasaray, who was originally at Benfica. Don't forget.
Yeah, he's good too.
And then you also have Vargas, who plays for Augsburg.
He's young, man.
I think that front three is Mbolo, Okafor, and Seferovic.
Yeah.
I think you don't start Seferovic.
No, yeah, definitely.
Jake, what are we thinking?
Hold on. My Chrome is lagging. I was trying to look at the squad again.
Yeah, Chrome, bro. Okay, so just have a little side topic while Jake's figuring out his Chrome issues. Why does Chrome eat up my GPU every time I'm on a computer? I want to know.
That's just Chrome.
It's just like, okay, why do you have to use a GPU to run like a search engine? I don't understand.
I'd say honestly, looking at the how few forwards they're taking, you just have to play Seferovic.
Yeah.
As a solo frontman.
But like obviously, Mbolo can play the wing. He's very versatile.
Oh
attacker.
yeah, Mbolo. You have to play those two.
I think Okafor
play those two as the front two.
I mean, that's the thing, like, so that's why I'm saying Okafor, Seferovic, and Briel and Bolo, because you have Mbolo out left.
Yeah, I'll agree.
You could have Okafor out right, and you could have Seferovic in the middle.
Players, yeah.
So, yep, that's right.
Yeah, I
so,
definitely agree with that.
Switzerland, sponsored by Albania. Let's see how well they do in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And then now for Croatia, the finalist of the last time for the World Cup, well, it was Croatia versus France. Now, in goal, these are, oh my God, here's the thing, my Albanian pronunciations are on point. But when it comes to the Croats, I really struggle. So, Dominik Likovic, Ivusic, and Grbić.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to lie, I only know one Croatian goalkeeper who plays for,
Letio?
No, I'm not thinking he's Slovenian. You're thinking of Oblak. Oblak plays for Slovenia.
No, yeah, you're right.
No,
there's a Grbić plays for Letico.
Oh, does he actually?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pick Grbić just because of that.
I mean,
just because of that.
I think there's a call called Subasic. He didn't get called up though. Subasic.
Subasic is a center back. You're thinking of?
Sure?
Yeah, positive. Subasic was the center back for Borussia Dortmund.
I might be right. You might be right.
But yeah, I think just because. No. I'm thinking of. Oh wait, Dajiel Subasic.
Yeah, he played for Croatia. I mean, he played for.
He
played for Monaco.
He did play for Monaco. That's true. No, but there's also a what's the team name, man? He's like an 82 rated goalkeeper in FIFA. That's where I know him from. He plays Dynamo Zagreb, the goalkeeper for them.
Oh yeah.
Him. I think he's Croatian. If he's not Croatian, then I am prejudiced, and I apologize for that.
Weird.
But anyways, goalkeepers, I think that's just up in the air. We don't know too much about them. Now, defense, we have Vida, Lovren, Barisic, Jurhanovic, Gvardiol,
yeah.
Sosa, Stanisic, Ehrlich, and Sudulo. Now, I think the only one I know well enough is Gvardiol. I'm sorry, people. My ball knowledge is off today. Please excuse me.
What about Lovren?
Lovren,
he's pretty good.
There's a reason why he left.
Oh, and Vida.
Yeah, Vida. I mean, Vida Besiktas. Lovren, he's, I think, I've been Besiktas now too, or is he in the Portuguese league?
Vida? He's in the Greek league.
No. I know Besiktas is Greek league. I'm talking about Lovren.
No, Besiktas is the
they're Turkish. Yeah. Ooh, to my Turkish Albanians out there, I apologize for confusing Turkish with Greek league. Don't hurt me, please.
Vida's in Athens on the Greek league now.
Yeah.
Have the teams.
And then, of course, Steven's here to correct me. And then where's Lovren at? I keep asking.
He's in Zenit.
He's at Zenit St. Petersburg?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I'll send you the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, actually.
Yeah.
I thought he was still in like the Portuguese league or something. That's crazy. So I think just Gavardio guaranteed. The rest I wish I knew more of. I apologize. And that's my notification going off because Steven texted me. Steven, I know that I just don't know where they're from. I know.
This is a team there.
So now the midfield I know very well.
Yeah.
We have Luka Modric. We have Mateo Kovacic. We have Marcelo Brozovic. Mario Pulisic. We have Nikola Vlasic. We have Lovro Mayer. We have Christian Djakic. And then we have Luka Susic.
Talk about a stacked midfield.
I mean, Modric, Kovacic, Brozovic. There's no other midfield three you can convince me of.
Pulisic is pretty good.
Pulisic, yes. Pulisic, he played.
I don't know about Vlasic.
Fun fact, he's a Chelsea Youth Academy graduate that I think still on loan at Atalanta.
No, yeah, he is. But he's been pretty good over there.
Yeah. Nico Vlasic, I think he just didn't hit the ground running at West Ham because everyone expected him to be that Jesse Lingard replacement.
Yeah.
And he never was. But it has to be Modric, it has to be Kovacic, it has to be Brozovic.
Yeah.
You can't convince me.
I do agree with that.
Jake?
Yeah.
What were we thinking?
Which team are we looking at again?
Croatia.
So we're looking at goalkeepers?
Midfielders. We skipped goalkeepers and defenders because we just don't know them all that well. We only know Gavardio and that's it.
Okay, so midfielders, you got to play Modric.
Yep.
You got to play Modric. Luka Susic for Red Bull Salzburg. He's been pretty good from what I've seen.
Really?
Kovacic as well. I think Kovacic. And then I think it's between Vlasic and Brozovic for me.
I think it has to be a midfield three of Brozovic, Kovacic, and Modric. That's just like there's no other midfield to convince you.
Vlasic's been pretty good too.
Yeah, but again, he's been iffy for West Ham though. That's the problem.
Yeah, but he's not at West Ham anymore.
Did he just leave?
No, he went to Torino. Yeah.
He went to Torino.
Yeah.
Oof. That doesn't still change my opinion. Not gonna lie. And then now for the attack, we have Perisic, Kramaric, Pekovic, Orsic, Budimir, and Lavaya.
The question is are they gonna play Perisic on like left back?
He's definitely gonna play left back.
I think he's gonna play like left wing maybe.
Yeah, I'm not actually
or like left wing back. Probably.
He's definitely playing that left flank.
Yeah.
Kramaric likes to play like a false nine. No, but he's like when he played for. Oof. I think it's. I've
only seen him at Hoffenheim.
Yeah, it's Hoffenheim. So when he plays for Hoffenheim, he plays more of like a cam / center forward. He does not play as like an out and out nine.
You got Petrovic and Budimir too.
Budimir is your striker that you want, and then
Orsic is pretty good too.
Yeah, but Orsic is a winger, so I think you can put Orsic out right if you do play a Perisic.
Yeah, pretty good attack actually.
And then for the rest of the day, we're still expecting. So here's the three teams that were supposed to announce their teams today. It was France, United States, and Croatia. So far we have Croatia. Brazil's already made their announcements. And we already got Switzerland who came out of left field.
Supposedly USA's got leaked.
Got leaked?
Yeah.
I want to see where the leak is. Let's pull that up. Because I'm not gonna lie, if there is if it's on TikTok, oh my god,
I gotta find it.
I'm not in the mood of scrolling through my For You page for it. I'm gonna go on Twitter.
I found it.
I think I found it. It was the first thing that was there.
Yeah, but I don't want to like say because it's not confirmed, you know. So it's just.
Yeah, but I mean, like how about we'll make the guess? So here we go.
Yeah.
USA, World Cup call up squad. Nope. That's just giving a list. USA squad out today. Zach Steffen's supposedly not going to be in the 26-man squad.
Said. It's not going to be in the 6-man squad. It's crazy. I mean,
he's been playing for Middlesbrough, a goalie on loan from Man City.
Yeah, but Matt Turner, I think, is your man. He did really good in the Gold Cup.
Yeah, I think so. But then you still have obviously Blake for the Union.
Yeah.
So
pretty good.
I really can't. I don't know how you find out TikTok so fast. All I see is Zach Steffen. But so, Jake, of your knowledge of American players, who would you like to see in the World Cup?
Pulisic, if he's available. He's been
without a doubt. Pulisic.
He's been very impressive for me. I feel like he's one of the most impressive talents coming out of America at the moment. So I think whatever American players I actually know.
Weston McKennie?
Can't say I know him.
Okay. Anthony Robinson, left back for Fulham.
Oh yeah, I would get behind him. He's been doing good. Fulham have been doing pretty well. I've been impressed with them. So I could definitely get behind him playing.
What about Tim Ream, center back for Fulham? You don't know? Yes, no, maybe so.
Potentially. I could see him doing a good job, but again, it's a case of will he actually do the job, and will he do a good job of it? That's the big question.
Yeah.
Like, it's a tough call.
So here's the thing. We can't say much without the lineup not being, like, I don't know why. Just announce it so that way we can break it on match week and we have a whole discussion. Like, oh my God, it'd be so cool.
Some teams like to keep it quiet longer just so other teams can't plan around it, which I get, but
I
like
mean,
also
just announce it.
That's what I found.
Yeah. But, so with us only really have 10 minutes left on here.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you all, and Steven is texting me again. Thank you, Steven, for blowing up the line of the USA. So from what, it looks like Zach, yeah, but that doesn't even look like it's linked because everyone keeps saying Zach Steven's not getting called up. They said that was confirmed.
No, yeah.
And they're saying that Blake is not going to be there, even though he was the one who's been outstanding for, you know what, I'll trust this list. It's already just not making me trust it. And if it's right, I'm sorry, we could have broken, but it's my fault. But I'm going to ask you guys, who do you think your winners are going to be? Who do you think your runners up is going to be? Who's going to win the Golden Boot? Who's going to win the Golden Glove? Who's going to be the player of the tournament? Who's going to be the young player of the tournament? Who's going to be the overachieving nation? Who's going to be the underachieving nation? And who's going to be the biggest flop?
Okay, so where are we going to start?
We're going to start with... which soundbite do I want to have first? Let's go biggest flop first.
Biggest flop. Oh, like country-wise?
Yeah, country. Country or player I'll give you.
Country or player?
Biggest flop.
It's interesting. Wow.
I think we could put Iran in this category because they might be forced to withdraw from the World Cup. So I feel like that's an easy gift for you guys if you want.
You can't withdraw them yet, though.
It depends on what you're classing as a flop. Are you going based off what we expect from the team, or just the team just did the worst? Because I think if we're doing a flop, it should be what.
I think Germany's going to be a flop.
The team that's going to do the worst, I think Qatar.
Well, no, Qatar, yes, but don't worry. Germany can still fill in the underachieving nation.
Yeah.
Flop just means bad.
Yeah.
Flop just
I
means
think
bad.
Netherlands.
I
think
means
Netherlands.
bad?
You think the Netherlands is going to be a flop?
No, I think they're going to be the underperforming.
Ghana is just going to be.
You think Ghana is going to be the flop?
Yeah.
No way.
I think Qatar's going to flop, honestly.
I
think Qatar is good.
I think if Iran does not forfeit themselves from the World Cup, I think it's either Qatar or Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah, Saudi Arabia. I forgot about that.
Saudi Arabia, just because I don't think they have a strong enough national team to compare with the rest.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do bad, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I know actually Saudi Arabia could be underachieving.
Exactly.
We'll put them. So biggest flop, we're going to put Qatar or Iran, depending on what happens with Iran. Underachieving nation, I understand Jake's shout for Netherlands.
No.
I can understand it because all it takes is the two players to really like mess up performances. What are we thinking, Jake? What was your rationale behind the Netherlands?
Well, from what I've seen, a lot of the Netherlands players haven't been playing that well recently. Like, I haven't heard much about Wijnaldum doing stuff, and looking at his FIFA rating, which isn't much to go off, it's dropped a lot. They seem to be without a lot of their good players. Like, I don't know, I just can't see them performing.
I mean, United's very own Tyrell Malacia.
Yeah.
You're also going to have Virgil in the World Cup.
Cody Gakpo.
You're going to have Gakpo. You're going to have Frankie de Jong. You're going to have De Ligt. Yeah. You're going to have United's very own Donny van de Beek. Dumfries.
Yeah.
I think also Memphis Depay needs a break from Barcelona because Barcelona's been disrespecting him.
We all know Memphis Depay in the Netherlands squad is just a different breed.
Yeah. So my two options for underachieving nation could be Netherlands or it could be Belgium.
But it could go pretty south for Netherlands pretty fast too.
Yeah, but it could go pretty south for Belgium.
I think they could go also pretty north for them. I think they could actually go far.
But that's why I think they can be underachieving nation.
That is true though. They could be
overachieving. I want my bias to be there. Jake, I want you to say first. Who's your overachiever?
Overachiever? This is going to be a bit of a curveball. Argentina.
You think they're going to... Wait, so where do you expect Argentina... Hold on a second. Where do you expect Argentina...
Listen, I think they're going to possibly... Okay, they're easily going to make it out of group stage, right? They're easily going to make it out of group stage.
Okay.
So once they make it out of group stage, they've got who they're going to play against. It's going to be tough calls to play against. Like, look at the schedule. Let's see who they're playing against. So Argentina in what, Group C?
Oh wait,
Group C.
I've made predictions already for the World Cup group stage knockout stuff because we had to do it for match week 1 week and also for planning for the World Cup. So what I have Argentina making it out with Poland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Argentina finishing second, right? They'll play the winner of Group D, which is most likely going to be France.
Second?
I can't see Argentina beating France.
I have them finishing first in the group.
Nah, Poland a stronger team in my opinion.
But
no.
Argentina with Lisandro Martinez.
They're on a 35-game win streak, about to break Italy's win streak of 37.
I think Argentina
have the informed Messi.
No matter how many jokes I play with our station our general manager Annabella Poland, about how many jokes I play about how Argentina is going to be bad, I think Argentina is a solid shout to maybe make it. They
could win it. That's the thing though. And as much as I don't like Argentina as a nation,
I think they might crash out of the semifinals, dude.
Okay, maybe, yeah. But I definitely think they could go far in this tournament. That's the thing though. You can't really rule them out.
So for overachieving, give me more detail about why you think it's going to be Argentina overachieving.
Right, for me, I don't have many expectations of Argentina. They don't have the strongest through-and-through squad. Like, they don't have strengths in all areas of the squad. Granted, they got Messi, they got Martinez in goal. You know, they've got the other Martinez in defense and such. And Emi Buendia. But apart from that, who can you name who's a standout star for Argentina?
Lisandro Martinez.
Well, he said besides them, Di Maria, Correa.
Di Maria's not performing good anymore.
At Juventus don't. No. I'm not counting.
Sometimes
Juve.
playing national is just it breaks out a different.
Well, also here's the thing: we also have Lautaro Martinez for Inter, who's been insane. You have Rodrigo De Paul in the midfield. You have Paredes.
The thing is, this Argentina squad, they have something to fight for. They're fighting for Messi's World Cup. That's the thing, though.
I think this is the most complete Argentina squad we've seen in a long time.
So too.
Because most of the Argentina squads prior to this was literally just Di Maria, Higuain, and Messi. And maybe Mascherano in the back line, who was half decent at best.
Yeah. No, this is definitely the most complete Argentina squad I've seen.
I do not mind the shout for overachieving being Argentina. Yeah. My overachieving nation, I think, is going to be the USA. I think everyone's going to underestimate them so hard that they're going to make it through somehow.
No.
I can see that. I can see it, but also...
It's a potential, but it's not set in stone. It's potential.
It's very much a potential.
I live in the USA, but I don't think much of the
Here's the thing. For me, overachieving for us right now is like quarterfinals. That's my overachieving at this point.
I think Denmark would be an overachieving team.
I
Denmark, I feel like they could go pretty far.
They could.
Either that or Uruguay.
Ooh, Uruguay is a shout as well. So young player of the tournament. We don't have that much time left, boys. Who are we picking?
Play the tournament. I think Musiala.
Musiala is a great shout. Oof.
That is
Jake,
a good shout.
What are we thinking?
Young player of the tournament.
Do we have a better shout than Musiala? Because that's like a really great shout right there.
I don't
the guy
think
has 20
we do,
goals.
unless you go with Vinicius Jr., because he's pretty young.
Ooh,
he's not that young.
No, Vinicius is 21, 22.
Yeah,
that's
but
young
people are saying that, yeah,
bro, for a World Cup, that's young.
People are saying that he's not a young.
That is young for a World Cup, yeah.
Bro, if you're under 23s.
But I do think it will be his World Cup, though. I do think so. Yeah.
Here's the thing. If Bellingham can find his form in the World Cup, he's within a shout because he's only 19.
It's just that manager, man. It's just Southgate.
Yeah, Southgate.
But I do think Musiala, he has 20 goal contributions right now in the season. He's insane right now.
Bro, he
has the most goal contributions in the Bayern squad.
First off, to be that good to be benching Gravenberch is insane, in my opinion. But player of the tournament. Here's the thing. So if Argentina or Portugal make it to the final, it's obviously going to be either Messi or Ronaldo.
Yeah, definitely.
If neither of them make it,
I say Neymar. If Brazil makes it to the final,
I can see that. I can get behind that.
If Neymar makes it, yeah. But then,
but if not, I think we could give a shout out to probably
if
De Bruyne.
But here's the thing: if England makes it, or if Belgium makes it, like Belgium, it could be De Bruyne. But if England makes it, who gets the shout for that?
Harry Kane.
Would it be Harry Kane?
Has to be Harry Kane. Yeah. You can't not have this conversation.
Or if Sterling comes back in his prime.
Well, here's the thing, because Harry Kane is within a shout for Golden Boot, which we're going to talk about next.
Yeah.
Because Golden Boot, it's either going to be him, it's either going to be Lukaku, or it's going to be Ronaldo or Messi. Those are the few I see going for.
I see Messi really in form right now.
He is. He's in a stride right now.
He's in his
he's picked up form at the perfect timing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, as much as I hate to say it, I do think Messi could have a very, very good World Cup. Man.
Golden Boot, who is it for you, Jake?
Harry Kane or Ronaldo. I don't see Messi scoring that many because he doesn't score that many for Argentina.
Yeah, he's usually trying to set up he's usually their only goal scorer, but he's always assisting though. He is always assisting.
Yeah. Okay, I will agree with that.
That is true.
Golden Glove.
Martinez.
I think Martinez, that's a great shout.
I think we could look at Courtois,
or maybe Neuer again. I mean, he gets to every World Cup somehow.
Or Alisson. I don't know.
Ooh, Alisson. Yeah, but who's gonna start? Alisson or Edison?
It's gonna be Alisson.
Is it gonna be Alisson?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's gonna be Edison.
It's gonna be Edison.
Yeah,
well, maybe because of the rotation, maybe they might not.
Here's the thing. I think Ederson's the better baller in regards to distribution, but I think Alisson's the better shot stopper.
Exactly. I think you need a shot stopper in the World Cup.
And real quick, you are listening top of the hour on WMSC Upper Montclair. Now, guys, we don't have that much time left. We have to wrap it up. So, Golden Glove, what's the one goalkeeper we're bringing on? Jake, last call. Who's it going to be? Martinez. Steven?
I say
Alisson, and I'll say Neuer, because why not? He's always in shot for it. Runners up. I'm going to say mine right now. England. It's coming home.
I don't see
football's coming. No.
Okay, I can get behind that. But I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, no, sadly, I think
I don't see us winning it. I don't see us winning it, but I don't see us being runners up.
I think the runners-up is either going to be Brazil or Argentina.
I say France.
Or Portugal, maybe. Or France.
I think France are going to be runners-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, France, I think, can respectfully be runners-up.
I think Brazil have the strongest shot in years of actually winning this.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I think the last time I believe Brazil might be winning it was when it was like they had like Kaká and they had Neymar still there, like at a young age, when they had David Luiz and they had like Paulinho at like a young age, like all this stuff. I think that was like the last time we saw Brazil like, wow, like they're in it. Yeah. And even like when they had Marcelo, dude, that's someone I feel like we sort of looked over a bit. He's playing Olympiacos right now. Like, do you not call him up for experience?
No, I've been looking at them too because of James is there. You know,
that's right.
Love James, there. But no, Marcelo just doesn't play that much over there either.
And then, guys, our last topic for the day. Well, actually, no. Tell me your runners up, Jake.
France.
Steven, runners up?
Yeah, France.
I think my runners up is going to be England. And then for winners, guys, who we think is going to win it all?
Brazil.
I'm going with Brazil. Careful. I'm going Brazil.
Brazil. USA. No, I'm just joking. No, I think winner is going to be Portugal. I'm throwing it up there. I think it's Ronaldo's last ever World Cup. I think this is the strongest Portugal has been in a very long time. I can see them winning it all.
That's a hot take, but I wouldn't disagree though.
I think this is the most complete Portuguese team we've seen in a long time.
The thing that threw me off was Jota getting injued.
Yeah, but still, you have Rafael Leao, you have Ronaldo, you have
João
Felix, you have Pizzi from.
They have a very strong squad, and definitely.
Yep. So guys, that has been Match Week for this week. I get it, Match Week for the puns and everything. Jake, please tell me you like my puns.
They're okay. They're American.
Okay. They're American. All right. Everybody, thank you for having us. We really, really do appreciate you. You're listening top of the hour on WMSC Upper Montclair. And this is Match Week. Guys, make sure you tell somebody you love them. I'll see you next time.